Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. You go to your local shoe store and you'll find a lot of different types of shoes. You'll find perhaps sandals, you'll find hiking boots, you might find steel-toed work boots, you might find dress shoes, you might find basketball shoes, tennis shoes, all different types of shoes. And one might wonder, why does there have to be so many different types of shoes? Well, we have different types of shoes because people engage in various activities and encounter various environments. For instance, a person would have a very difficult time playing basketball in steel-toed boots, or a person might have a difficult time playing tennis in high heels. We know that the right type of footwear needs to fit the right type of situation and circumstances. If the person has the right type of footwear, then they're prepared to deal with the terrain and the situation that they would find themselves in, whatever that situation might be. And when it comes to Habakkuk, we find that the Lord helped him out by giving him the right type of, not the right type of shoes, but the right type of feet. In verse 19 of Habakkuk 3, it says, "The Lord God is my strength, and he has made my feet like hinds' feet. He makes me walk on my high places." Here, Habakkuk recognized the fact that the Lord had given him strength because he had given him the right feet. He had given him the feet of the hinds' feet. Or this is oftentimes translated the deer's feet. Most likely more relates to an animal similar to like a mountain goat or something like that, who has the proper feet for rough terrain. They're able to climb the steepest slopes, being able to cross the most difficult type of terrain. And it really ties to the fact that they have the right feet. A mountain goat can climb the mountain, not because climbing a mountain is easy, but because they have the right feet, because they are prepared to climb a mountain. A mountain goat is able to cross rocky paths, climb up steep paths, because they have the right type of feet, not because rocky paths and steep paths are easy to traverse. Again, he just has the right type of feet. And the same thing is true with Habakkuk. With Habakkuk, the Lord could have helped Habakkuk in two ways, at least two ways. The Lord could have made Habakkuk's situation easy. Just as if you wanted to allow a mountain goat to make it from one field to the other, you could make the path very smooth and very easy for him to cross it. And God could have made the pathway very smooth and easy for Habakkuk. And that would have been one way that the Lord would have helped Habakkuk in this particular setting and in this particular historical context. But as we can read from Habakkuk, who was a contemporary of Jeremiah, judgment was impending. Times were going to get difficult. And so really making things easy for Habakkuk may not have been the best choice, because there were a lot of other things at play that the Lord had to put in place because of the sinfulness of the nation. And so the Lord wasn't going to make the terrain all that much more easier for Habakkuk. So instead, what he did was he gave him the right feet. He gave him the right feet for the terrain that he would have to traverse. In other words, he gave him the right heart to encounter the very difficult situations. We know here that he's not talking about giving Habakkuk literal hinds feet, but rather helping him have the right heart. In the context, the heart is what is the focus. There he talks about the fact that in verse 17, though the fig tree should not blossom, and there's no fruit in the vines, though the yield of the olive shall fail, and the fields produce no food, though the flock should be cut off from the fold, and there be no cattle in the stalls, yet I will exalt in the Lord, I will rejoice in the God of my salvation. And of course, exalting and rejoicing occurs in the heart. And as he rejoiced in the Lord, as he found joy in the Lord, the joy of the Lord was his strength, and gave him the right type of feet to traverse the difficult circumstances that he was about to encounter. And all the credit went to the Lord for giving him the right type of feet, or we could say the right type of heart. And so the question would be for us, sometimes God has to bring us through difficult situations. And the question would be, how would God help us in those times? It is true that sometimes the Lord helps us by calming the storm, by making the circumstances favorable and changing the circumstances in a favorable way. But we also have to recognize the times in which the Lord doesn't change the circumstances, but he changes us. He gives us the right type of feet to engage in that circumstance. In other words, he gives us the strength of heart to get through it. And even though the situation is difficult and is trying, the Lord helps us by strengthening our heart and giving us a joy that allows us to traverse those difficult situations, to make it through those situations and out on the other side. And so we should be encouraged by Habakkuk by recognizing the fact that the Lord does for us what he did for Habakkuk. The Lord gives us the right kind of feet. He gives us the strength of heart to get through hardships and trials. And to the extent that we trust him in that, to the extent that we rely on the Lord to help us in that way, is the extent to which we'll find a strength arise within us that goes beyond human comprehension, a strength that helps us in a way that we don't fully understand, but that we fully appreciate. And it's a strength that helps us to make it across those rocky paths, that helps us to climb those rocky mountains and to get above and beyond those high places that are difficult and hard to traverse. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.